A very good evening. So in today's class we'll be talking about the Bohr's atomic model, which is an important concept of class 9 chapter structure of the atom and class 11 chapter again structure of the atom. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now Bohr's atomic model was one of the successful atomic models given by Niels Bohr. Now let's first understand the postulates of this model and then let's understand how to illustrate it. Now this model is applicable to hydrogen like species. That means hydrogen like species I am saying in the sense that it has only one electron. Okay, so which species can have one electron? Hydrogen can have one electron, helium plus can have one electron, lithium 2 plus can have one electron. That means 2 plus means it has lost 2 electrons, so lithium has 3, 3 minus 2 is 1. Beryllium 3 plus can have one electron. Boron 4 plus is not possible. Okay, so these are the species where the Bohr's model is best applicable to. Fine. Now this Bohr's model says that in an atom the proton and the three subatomic particles are there: proton, neutrons and electrons. Protons and neutrons constitute the mass of the atom and they are found inside the central space called nucleus. Fine. In the nucleus they are found and they constitute the main mass of the atom. So now what about the electrons? The electrons revolve around various orbits. So electrons are there in orbits. They revolve around this, revolve around orbits and around the nucleus. Now when I say orbit, orbit basically is an elliptical path, just like Earth's orbit. Okay, Earth's orbit. Fine. So you can consider this that I have the easy way to remember this model is a diagram of the solar system. I have the sun here, okay, and on the orbit I have the earth revolving, Mercury revolving, etc. on various orbits. So the sun becomes proton plus neutron, the nucleus of the atom is the sun, okay, is nucleus, and electrons become the planet and their path is the orbit. Okay, so this is the easy way to remember the Bohr's model, that you construct the solar system, the sun becomes the nucleus, electrons become the planets, and the orbits of the planets are the path of the electron, also called orbit of electron or energy level of an electron. Fine. Now talking about the Bohr's model in detail, how to illustrate it. Okay, so this video mainly deals with the class 9th approach on Bohr's model. For class 11th approach there are few conditions which are also used in Bohr's model, which I will be taking up soon in a specific video for class 11. This is just introduction and explanation of the concept, sufficient for class 9 but not for 11. 11th will have some numerical portions as well. Alright, so let's understand now the construction of Bohr's model. Fine. This is the ideal rule for construction and following this only we'll construct the Bohr's model. Let's take the first example, hydrogen. Now for hydrogen the atomic number Z is 1 and atomic number is equal to the number of protons equal to number of electrons in case of an atom which is electrically neutral. In atom number of protons and electrons are same. So number of electrons is also 1 and number of protons is also 1 is what I get from the atomic numbers. So I get this information also, I get this information also. So now what I need to do is consider this model. I'll do the nucleus in the center, okay, which is having 1 proton and n number of neutrons, 1, 2, 3 depending on what kind of hydrogen I am taking. So and along that will be the first orbit, okay, which will have 1 electron here. So this is the electron, 1 electron, 1 neutron, 1 proton, and the hydrogen is created. So this is nucleus which is containing the proton plus neutron and this is 1 electron. Fine. Now taking up another example, let's take the example of chlorine. How to draw the model for chlorine. Okay. Now for chlorine the ideal way to draw the model is writing the electronic configuration of chlorine. Now electronic configuration will be happening in shells. I have K, L, M and N shells. Chlorine has atomic number 17. That means the number of protons and electrons are equal to 17. Okay. So the electronic configuration, in the K shell maximum electrons are 2, L shell maximum are 8, that is 10. In M shell maximum are 8, I have 7, so I give 7 here. So 287 is the atomic configuration of chlorine. That means how many shells I am using, how many orbits are there? 3 orbits. So let's see how to construct the Bohr model for such a case. So I have the nucleus which is equal to proton plus neutron. I draw the first orbit here which is having how many electrons? 2. So this is the K. Okay. So K has 2. Now let me draw the next one which is the L. How many electrons are there in L? 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And let me draw the last one now which is the M. Please draw them with a compass so that you get a perfect ellipse or circle. How many are there in M? 7 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is M having 7 and this is the nucleus which is having proton plus neutron. Is the way. Okay. So two things important. First, know the atomic number which will give you the number of electrons in it. From then write the electronic configuration of KLM. K can maximally accommodate 2, L can accommodate 8 and M can accommodate 8 and N can also accommodate so on. So just fill it progressively and construct the Bohr's model for that. Fine. I hope it is clear. Now one more thing to be remembered here, the final shell in which I have the last electrons, the last shell is called the valence shell. Valence shell. Okay. And the electrons which are there in the valence shell are called the valence electrons. Clear? So the last shell is called valence shell and the electrons which are present in them are the valence electrons. Now using this valence electrons, I can do one important thing, write the valency of an element. Okay, let's understand how to write the valency. Now what is valency first of all? Valency is the combining capacity of an element. Combining capacity. So this combining capacity of an element is called valency. Combining capacity means how many electrons can it use to form a bond. Number of valence electrons, and what is the valency? Number of valence electrons it can combine to form a bond. Okay. Now let's take an example. So again I'll take the example of chlorine. So I have chlorine with the atomic number is 17 for chlorine. That means the electronic configuration will be 287. While writing the valency, I will only be considering upon the valence electrons which are here 7. Okay. So valence electrons are 7. Now from valence electrons there are two methods which we can use to find the valency. The first is I use valence electrons only, the valence electron becomes the valency, or the next choice is 8 minus valence electrons. 8 is the maximum capacity of a shell, minus valence electrons becomes the valency. Now which to choose? The one I will be choosing is the smaller one. So the smaller one in each case will be the valency of the element. Now in this case the valence electrons are 7. 8 minus 7 is 1. So this option gives me 7 here, this option gives me 1. So what is the valency of chlorine? 1. Okay. Is the valency with a negative charge because it's a non-metal, but I'll take the integral value as 1. Fine. So I'll take the valence electrons after writing the electronic configuration. I can either approach the valence electrons or I can get 8 minus valence electrons, whichever is suitable. Is that okay? Whichever is smaller, I'm sorry. So here in the case, the 8 minus valence electron case, which is giving us 1 is smaller, so the valency of chlorine is 1. So again, understanding the definition, valency means combining capacity, that how many more electrons a atom needs to get stable. So chlorine has 7, 1 more will make it stable, so 1 will be the valency. That's the meaning of the definition of valency. Okay. Now coming on to one question based on this. An element has, this is a very important question, element has atomic number, or Z I can give you, to be 12. Okay. So write down. So I am only when given the atomic number, and let me see what I can do from that. Write down the number of electrons, protons in it. Okay. Second, draw Bohr's model. Third, write the valency. And fourth, write whether it is a metal or non-metal. Okay, these are the questions I have been given. So let me see how to go about it. Now these kinds of analytical questions are very common from this topic, so it's very important that we understand these questions well. Okay, so let's take up the first thing. Only thing I have been given here is the atomic number, which is equal to 12, and I will do everything with that atomic number. First is number of protons and electrons. Atomic number means number of protons, so number of protons is equal to 12, and as it is an element which is electrically neutral in atom, there is no charge on it, so the electrons and protons are equal, which is equal to again 12. Okay, first part done. So now I have to draw the Bohr's model for 12 electrons. So let me first write the electronic configuration. K, L, M, N. 12 में 2 go to the K, 2 K में चले गए, बचे कितने 10. 8 are there in L. L can accommodate maximum of 8, और बाकी 2 बचे वो M में डाल दिए हमने. So this is the electronic configuration. So what will be the Bohr's model for this now? The Bohr's model is, this is the nucleus, P plus N, K shell, 2 electrons, M shell में जाओ और L shell में भी जाओ. M में कितने हैं? M में 8 है, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, ये M shell है, और L में कितने हैं? 2. Okay, so this becomes your Bohr model, and this is your P plus N, which is your nucleus. Mark the nucleus and the shell in the atom to make the answer complete. Now coming to the next part, write the valency. So valency के लिए हमें काम electronic configuration से करना है. What is the valence electron? The last shell. Last shell is the L shell. Sorry, M shell. Okay. So what is the M value here? 2. So the valence electrons becomes 2. Valency के लिए 2 ऑप्शन, या तो valence electron ले लो या तो 8 minus valence electron ले लो. एक ऑप्शन हमें 2 दे देता है, number of valence electron, and 8 minus valence electron is 8 minus 2. What is 8 minus 2? 6. Which is smaller? This is smaller. So 2 is the valency. Valency is 2. Okay. Now one more thing, the last part, write whether it is a metal or non-metal. Now for this you should have knowledge from your earlier classes that metals are electropositive substances. They have valency of 1, 2 or 3. Non-metals are electronegative substances. They have valency of 4 to 8. So your metal will have valency of 1, 2, 3. Non-metal will have valency of 4 to 8. इसकी valency क्या है? 2. 2 satisfies to the metal. So this is a metal in its nature. Okay. Now one more part can be expected here. Name the element. Now for this you should always remember the element names till atomic number 30. 30 तक आपको elements और उनकी valency याद होनी चाहिए. So this atomic number is 12 and atomic number 12 is magnesium. Okay, magnesium. Mg is the element. Now this is no logic in this. This has to be learned. Atomic numbers till 30 has to be learned after class 7. From class 8 you should know this at least till 20 till 11th, and after 11th and 12th you should know till 30. So you will identify this element as magnesium. So I'll add this 5th part also. Name it, because generally the naming is also asked. Name it. Okay. Fine. So this was all about the Bohr's model and its construction. This was about it, and after that we have understood how to write the valency and get some information of valency from electronic configuration and the Bohr's atomic model. Okay, so that was all about this. So now coming on to the limitations of Bohr's atomic model. The Bohr's atomic model could not actually explain the dual nature of matter. Matter and electrons are always having wave properties and particle properties, which the Bohr model could not explain. Secondly, the Bohr model contradicted the uncertainty principle posed by Werner Heisenberg, okay, and could not explain line spectrum splitting. Now these are terms which I am using are for class 11 based knowledge, so I will be taking up a specific video for class 11 in Bohr's model where I will deal with it. Okay, for class 10 level this much is sufficient. Like this only, all other structures regarding to Boas model you can practice, and please post in the comment section whether this was useful and you could get the correct answers or not. If you want me to take any other structure of the Boas model of any other element, please give it in the comment section. I'll be glad to solve it. Okay, stay safe, okay, and stay home. So thank you, good afternoon, and take care. Thank you.